What if the USSR had conquered Afghanistan in 1989? The year is 1989, and the Soviet Union is in a bad way. Mikhail Gorbachev's policies of glasnost and perestroika have opened up Soviet society, and its economy is in sharp decline. The Soviet public is becoming increasingly disillusioned with the government, and there are calls for more democracy and freedom. Meanwhile, the government is losing the war in Afghanistan. It's clear that something has to change. Gorbachev decides to declare martial law and crack down on the growing dissent at home. But what about Afghanistan? The war there has been going on for over a decade, and the Soviets have been unable to make any real progress. In fact, it's become something of a quagmire. There are calls from the top brass to just nuke the place. But even if that were possible, it's not really a long-term solution. Gorbachev decides to take a different approach. Instead of trying to win the war, he will simply cut his losses and pull out. But this is where things get weird. As the Soviet troops are withdrawing, they come across an abandoned anti-aircraft missile base. Inside, they find a fully functional nuclear-powered ICBM launcher with several missiles ready to go. The base wasn't on any Soviet maps, and nobody seemed to know it was there. What are the chances? Gorbachev decides to use this lucky break to end the war on a high note. He launches several of the missiles and completely obliterates the main rebel base. This convinces the remaining rebels that the Soviets really do have nukes and are willing to use them. The threat of Soviet nuclear weapons ends the war, and the Soviets are able to withdraw with their heads held high. Gorbachev is now a war hero, and the public is behind him. The threat of nuclear war with the United States is very real, and the Americans won't intervene in Afghanistan. With the collapse of the Soviet Union averted, Gorbachev is now free to crush the opposition at home. With the help of the military, he declares himself president for life, and the Soviet Union becomes a one-party state. The people are happy for the most part. The economy is still in sharp decline, but under Gorbachev's strong leadership, at least there is stability. Now the only thing left to do is figure out what to do with all of those nukes. Thank you for watching.